In here yet. Sean, can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear. What a day.
Uh, what a day indeed. So I thought it would be useful if we could educate everybody about the Grammy Awards process. So we're really excited about the results. We're going to get into those in a second. We're going to start out talking about exactly who votes on the Grammy Awards. How do we land at the nominees we have now?
Super. That's very exciting because as much as we love kicking off Grammy season now, there's just been a lot of people working for a long time to get to this point. Essentially, who votes on the Grammys is we have over 11,000 voting members of the Academy. So these are the music creators. These are artists, singers, instrumentalists, classical conductors, composers, songwriters, engineers, producers, all the people who work in the creative fields that create all the recordings that we have. 11,000 plus of them are voting members. They voted in the first round a month ago, where we had a record number of entries this year. People have been home over this terrible pandemic making music. We had almost 22,000 eligible entries this year that were in the first round of voting that our voting members voted on to give us the nominations that we announced this morning.
22,000, that is a massive number. And so that 22,000, did they submit them for a category? How do we decide where the music goes?
Right. So those all come in, entered across all the 86 categories that we have. And many of them are in the right place. Some of them may be somewhere between genres. I think, genre is not as fixed as maybe it once was. So, in the case of all those entries, we put together what we call screening committees. These are musicologists, record label people, artists, producers, songwriters, and we essentially lock them in a room or lock them in their own room for several days per field, and they listen to the music and have those arguments. Is this country or is it Americana? And they will literally go track by track and vote to make sure that every entry is in the category it belongs in. It is a very long process, but it's really important to make sure that the first ballot, when it goes out, that everything is where it should be. First we have the entries, then we have the screening, then we have the voting.
Oh, that's awesome. So everybody, as a recap, like the people who vote on the Grammy Awards are the members of the Recording Academy who are people in the music community. Nobody speaking right now gets a vote. A lot of the time we find out when you do, especially for the awards show. And yeah, this is about the only peer recognized award in music for the artist by the artist. So Sean, what's next from here? Everybody's been nominated. How do we get to that final point?
All right, so now we have a fun group of maybe 1,000 nominees who are very excited. So we have two tracks. One, the nominees will start dealing with them, making sure they have tickets if they're getting tickets to the show, finalizing who's going to be performing and presenting, all the good telecast stuff, and then we have the second ballot to determine who the Grammy recipients are going to be. So right now we'll take all the nominated recordings. We'll be putting together the second round ballot where our voting members, once again, will be able to log in through their password protected site. They can listen to all the nominated music and recordings and pick where the fields where they're really peers with the material that's been nominated, and they will do a second round vote to take our nominations to Grammy winners, who will be the names in the envelopes on the Grammy stage.
All right. Well, if you've got to vote, please get ready to vote on the Grammys. This is the life's work of people who dedicate their life to this work. And it's amazing and it deserves celebration and recognition. So, Sean, anything else everybody needs to know about the Grammy Awards other than, tune in, CBS, January 31st, check the premiere ceremony online right beforehand?
All of that. And just, I think as someone who's seen, 20 plus thousand entries become just the nominations that are then going to become just the Grammy winners. Take a minute to realize how much great music is out there and how many music creators are working every day to express themselves. It's so fantastic, and I'm thrilled that we can honor that work.
Well, awesome. Thank you for joining us and letting us know a little bit about the process, the only peer recognized award in music, and how exactly we came to this point. And so, yeah, Sean, I guess you have a lot of work to do, reaching out to everybody and letting them know they're nominated. So
It's fun. They're
it's
usually in a
fun.
good mood by the time we reach them, so it's an exciting day. Thanks, Mazen.
Exciting day indeed. Everybody is a winner today. It's great to be able to text friends and tell them about it and people you work with and people you admire. And so, with that said, we've got Morgan and Taylor from our editorial team. These are the people who write everything you see up on Grammy.com. And so, team, what was your reaction? Morgan Taylor told us a little bit. She's a believer. She'd love to see all of those. How did you feel?
I felt great. I mean, what a wild ride. Just making sure all these posts were up to snuff and getting them out there was well, it was wild, but I'm so happy these nominations are out there. I'm psyched for the jazz the jazz categories personally. I mean, getting to talk about amazing records like Donda and let's see here, and the Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga record and Jean Baptiste record I was a huge fan of. Very satisfying to see their names over there. I just like to give a shout out to Kenny Barron being nominated for Best Improvised Jazz Solo for his. He's an old school jazz pianist, wonderful jazz pianist who performed on Jerry Gibbs' "Songs from My Father" album. So if you guys are into jazz or want to get more into jazz, that's a wonderful jazz record. Jerry Gibbs' "Songs from My Father." But congratulations to absolutely everybody on here.
Oh,
Really,
that's a strong recommend. Look up the nominees and give it a listen, especially if you want to discover some new names in the category. There's a familiar name, I think, to lots of people. You catch him on CBS a lot of nights. John Batiste, most nominations this year. Wow.
amazing. What did you think, Taylor?
I love the spread of everything. I think I wrote the record of the year post that we have up on Grammy.com, and it was really neat to see just how much variety there is in this year's nominations. It's really cool to see John Batiste in so many different categories. That was crazy. But like you mentioned with Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga, this is really special for Tony Bennett as it seems like this is his last kind of ride. And so it's cool to see that he's got a lot of nominations, but we've also got obviously all the pop hitters this year with Silk Sonic. It's fun to see them killing it because their album and their song "Leave the Door Open." I guess their album's not eligible yet because it just came out, but "Leave the Door Open" was such a huge song this year. So, I mean, it's not really that surprising to see Bruno Mars in the Record of the Year category, but I am excited for Anderson .Paak kind of getting that moment with Bruno. And obviously, it's a huge year for Olivia Rodrigo. So it's really great to see her in all four of the big four categories. I'm sure I'm waiting to see her reaction video. I honestly, when we were watching the nominations, I just was thinking about her. She's only 18, so thinking about her in probably her bedroom or something. I mean, who knows where she is right now, but as an 18-year-old, like I can imagine she's at home watching these nominations because, like Mazen said earlier, we all find out at the same time. So the artist didn't know anything before this morning. So I can only imagine that Olivia, with the year she's had, is in disbelief, but also probably not as much in disbelief because things have been happening for her already the whole year. But I'm sure she's trying to take in the fact that she's the latest Billie Eilish with all four nominations in all four of the categories. So,
I mean, what a roller coaster, right? Can you imagine that? Just she popped onto the scene so quick, and now it seems that we all know her lyrics, like whatever your age is. Because I can tell you, I was not overachieving like that at her age for sure. But interested to see what comes from the career, the album. People loved it, and for everybody listening, Olivia Rodrigo came into the office digitally. She did a little performance for us and spoke to everyone, and it's really wonderful to see that happen. Let's talk about some of the other ones. You got so Doja Cat actually has second most nominations, tied with Justin Bieber and Her. back again, who also presented. Shout out to her. Thank you for presenting.
She's a natural, by the way. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's another one that like started young and knows just how to do it. But also performed last year on the Grammy stage. So yeah, 8 nominations for her, 8 nominations for Justin Bieber and that album. So yeah, Taylor, you were saying you really loved it. How do you feel about it?
About Justin being nominated with 8.
Yep.
I'm ecstatic. Getting the list a little bit ahead of time to be able to prepare all of these pieces for you guys. I was losing my mind and I couldn't tell anyone because the nominations weren't out yet. So it's really exciting to see him get recognized for this album. Like I said earlier, I'm a believer. And so I think this is honestly his best work. I know Purpose was a big moment for him, but I think this is kind of the culmination of him being in the happiest place he's been mentally and, with his romance with.
A member of the Academy or interested party can reach out and make a proposal for a guideline change, category change, new category, anything like that. This was a case where the feeling was that there was just so much fantastic global music coming out that the global album category wasn't enough, and a proposal was written to add a track, a performance category in that field. And the A&N, our awards and nomination committee, and our trustees agreed. And so we added that second category in global music this year to reflect just what was going on in global music. And the nominations are very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, West Africa is incredibly well represented. You've got Wizkid, Burna Boy, Femi Kuti, all from Nigeria, Angelique Kidjo from Benin, right next door over there. Arouj Aftab nominated for performance in the category, also for Best New Artist. Really interesting talent. And if I'm not mistaken, only the second person of Pakistan, second Pakistani ever to be nominated for a Grammy. The last one being back in 1939. So that's awesome to see. And we're excited to have expanded the category as well.
Mazen, right before you guys lost me, I was wondering if you had touched on the global music category. Did you guys talk on that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, cool.
Amazing stuff. Wizkid for life.
Wizkid had that song with Drake, didn't he?
Yeah.
A while back. I don't remember what was it. Was it one? Did they do One Dance together?
Hang on.
Is that the one?
Magic Google button.
I just remember his name from that, and so it's cool to see him getting more recognition outside of teaming up with one of rap's superstars.
Yeah, they've worked together in the past. That's right.
Cool. Well, is there anything else that I missed while I was gone that we want to touch on before we sign off here?
Let's see. Thank you all for being here, by the way.
Yeah, I hope everybody's excited. I wish we could hear some of the takes, but I love all the reactions that are coming in.
Absolutely. Anything you're especially excited about regarding the performers on the show, Taylor?
Have we heard of who's going to perform?
Mazen, are you here?
Hey y'all, we're trying to add Mazen back, so give us a quick second.
I think we might want to talk about the potential performers.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would hope to see Olivia Rodrigo make her Grammy debut. She's been all over the award show scene, so I could definitely see her being one, and especially with a nomination in each of the big 4 categories, I could absolutely see her kind of stealing the show, honestly, not necessarily with the wins or anything, but if she were to perform, I think that would be a huge moment. I feel like Silk Sonic has got to perform. I mean, they're just performers, like crazy performers. I mean, Bruno Mars has performed on the Grammys several times.